Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be just making a couple notes about the model we explored prior to the break for lunch, and then we'll be going on to a different model. So I'm just going to open up that model that we were working on, this contagion version 5, which I'll further note is up on that site if any of you needed to grab it. Sorry. Oh, thank you, Wade. Boom. Thanks a bunch, as always. So I just wanted to highlight one or two features of this. The first thing is we have this yearly reporting going on. And thus far, we use that yearly reporting to report a particularly simplistic set of information, which was the year. We could also use it to report other things, right? For example, by adding in an additional element, we could type, and I'll put this up on the big screen, the number of infectives, report the number of infectives, for example, here. And we do this dot population dot count infectious. So all I did is I went to that event called the yearly reporting event, and I put in this additional component, which basically prints out after a comma the number of infectives with a label for them. What is this thing that I'm calling here? This thing is what? Where did this count infectious? How did it know to count the number of infectious people? What is this count infectious? It's a statistic as defined in the population. Remember, we defined it yesterday. It's a statistic here, count infectious. And all we're doing is we're calling it here on a yearly basis. So my point is this yearly reporting thing can be quite useful for making reports of interest on the number of individuals, for example, who are infected, okay, over time. Here it's reporting on a yearly basis the counts of infections. Okay, so that's one very useful thing we can do with a yearly reporting, and we'll come back to that. Another thing I just want to feature is if you run this, and you were to, whilst it runs, go up to this graph, we could right-click on this graph, and we can say copy all. How did I do that? I went up to the graph, right-clicked on it, and said copy all. On a Mac, what is it? Instead of right-click, it's option click? Control click, okay. Okay, copy all. Okay, and having done that, if we were to go call up a spreadsheet of your choosing, I'll choose a LibreOffice spreadsheet. Oh, no, not LibreOffice Math. What am I doing? LibreOffice Calc. That's what I wanted. I can go paste these things in, and I actually get a count of infectives over time as extracted from that graph. Okay? How did I do that? I right-clicked here. I said copy all, and that allows me to go and paste it into things, the model output. Alternatively, I could say copy chart image and paste that, and I'd see the chart image. Okay, so we're provided a certain degree of export flexibility by virtue of these this reporting that we have in place, and reporting is made more extensive yet through the use of this yearly reporting event. It's extraordinarily common in these models to have a reporting process. In their book on individual and agent-based modeling. Volker, Graham, and Railsbeck talk about reporting processes, processes that report, or they call them observer processes. They're epiphenomenal. All they do is report on the model. They don't change the model operation, but they're very, very important. And one of the most common ones is to have, say, weekly or yearly periodic events which summarize aspects of model operation. Sometimes they put it into graphs. We'll see more of it, how we can add histograms, for example, or scatter plots. But they also do this in terms of aggregate counts that are just printed out. Okay, so that's very good. I will. I'm further tempted to show some other features of it that could be done fairly quickly, but I'd like to get into creating a broader model, a model with GIS features. So I'm going to go light in this, bearing in mind that we may return to this model. I'm going to save these as model version 6 because I modified it, and I modified it with a chunk of work, and I'm going to upload it as I am wont to the folder on the Google Drive. There we go. Okay, now, having done that, having had that brief glimpse, we will turn our attention to more substantial aims. To wit, creating a model in GIS space that uses geographic information to shape agent behavior and as a background for agents.